Hi, for a while now I've been thinking about implementing some anime effects into my live stream, and I thought about those anime split screen moments where they will show you multiple characters, multiple perspectives, sometimes it's the same character. I don't watch a lot of anime, so I haven't seen this in a while, and I actually couldn't find any example on YouTube, so I'm just doing it from memory, but I'm sure it's a thing. Right? Anyways, I came up with some ideas on how to do it, but also how to make it pretty simple. Today, we're actually gonna figure out how I did it. I have a pre-made one that I was just toying around. I'm gonna show you how I set that up, and then we're gonna do the complete thing, and we're gonna be able to trigger it with channel points or maybe even alerts, whatever you want, really. We'll be using OBS Studio for that, of course. We'll be using the Move Transition plugin, and we'll be using Streamerbot to set up the delays and trigger it. Okay, so we actually have a sponsored message for this video, but I really wanna show you the setup first. This is not just what we're gonna be creating, okay? I haven't set up triggers for it, but basically this is what's gonna happen. While you're streaming, boom, energy bars come in, and then boom, anime lines, and then boom, left side, middle sides, middle side, and then right side. And then this happened, and then of course, eventually we're gonna add some animation out, and then we'll stop the anime lines. It's that simple. The mask shapes, the anime lines, and the energy bars are all gonna be provided to you for free. So let's hear a message from our sponsor, and I'll show you how I made it from scratch. Actually, it's sponsored by Own Pro, and if you don't know what Own Pro is, it's basically a service that gives you everything you need as a live streamer to begin your journey. Own is already known for having the biggest overlay library on the internet, so you get access to over 600 of those, and they are available in multiple languages. You install full overlay packs in one click. You get your own chatbot that will not only help you moderate, but it will also tell you when you have new alerts. So with Own Pro, you get access to overlays, alerts, a chatbot, widgets, your own donation page, copyright-free music, extensions, analytics, and Own Pro is free to use. But if you want to unlock more features, look at that. You can get 50% off the premium version with the code NEWYEAR. So go check it out over at own.gg/getlevelpro. That is own3d.gg/getlevelpro. All right, let's get into it. I'm basically gonna add this to my actual stream. So me explaining this to you is me doing it for myself. I would say this is difficulty kind of medium. I'm assuming that you know how to use OBS Studio and you know about the sources. I'm assuming you know at least a little bit about Move Transition plugin, and I'm assuming that you know how to use Streamerbot, or you already have Streamerbot installed and up and running, basically. If you don't, there will be some links in the description on how to use all those things. So go watch those videos and come back. And if you do know how to use all of that, get ready for a wild ride. Okay, so this is my actual streaming scene collection. The first step is to make sure that you have a scene that is just your webcam. We're gonna be using nested scenes or whatever you wanna call it. For me, it's called main cam, and that's a scene where the only thing in there is basically my webcam or webcams, depending on which one I have plugged in. So I'm gonna create a new scene by clicking on the plus bottom left, and I'm gonna call this one anime scene. We're gonna start by adding a couple of things. I'm gonna click on the plus here for the sources, and I'm gonna add media source. And this one is gonna be my anime lines. We're gonna click OK, and we're gonna go find our MP4 anime line, and it's a green screen. We wanna click loop here to make sure that it plays forever, for however long we want it to play, basically. Click OK, and we're gonna have this. Up here, we're gonna click on filters, or you can right click filter, chroma key, click plus, add a chroma key. You should know that stuff. You should know all that stuff, right? And then you can play around with the smoothness and all of that until it looks good. We'll just keep it like that. We're gonna do the same thing, click plus, add a new media source, and this one will be energy bars. Click OK, go find them. And this one is something that I created myself in Adobe After Effects. Those are like the energy bars, basically that little transition that you see, right? This one is a WebM, and we do not want this to loop, all right? Because it has an in and out animation. So it's gonna play, boom, and after 4 seconds, or after 2 seconds, basically, it's gonna go out. Nice. So far, so good. Very simple. Now, this is where it gets super I'm joking. Click plus, find scene. Remember the name of the scene with the camera? For me, it's called main cam. Click OK, and here we are. Hi. You come here often? You want to right click on that camera, and you want to click group selected items. You just want that scene, camera scene, to be in one group by itself, right? All lonely and stuff. And you can call this one left cam, for example, right? So we're gonna separate them in three different things. We're gonna right click on that group, that left cam one. We're gonna copy, we're gonna right click again, and we're gonna paste a duplicate, not a reference. You see there's two, it's not Control V, it's paste duplicate. It creates a new separate group, right? We're gonna right click, we can double click, I think, to rename. No, we can't. Right click, rename, and this one is gonna be mid cam. Nice. Now right click, it's still copied, so click duplicate, right click, rename, right cam. All right, we have 3 groups that each have one camera scene in them, right? So while selecting the groups, we're gonna add some filters to each group that correspond to their name, right? This is right cam. I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna go to filters, or if you're on OBS 28, oh yeah, by the way, I'm using OBS 28. I haven't upgraded yet. Click filters, and we're gonna go find color correction. Let's start with color correction, okay? And under color multiply, you're gonna pick one of the colors that you want to add. Keeping in mind that we're gonna add 2 colors. If you wanna add a 3rd color to the middle, that's your problem. So we're gonna go very bright here, and let's say I'm gonna go with some sort of orange-ish. It's gonna be on the right. I'm gonna click OK. This is the effect that I get. That's fine. It's cool because it interacts with the other color here. Nice. I'm gonna make it invisible for now. I'm gonna click on left cam. Actually, I'm gonna make mid invisible too, just so I can see what I'm doing with left cam. Click plus, go to color correction, add it, and then select the other color that you want. I'm gonna go for a green. Click OK. This is what it looks like. You can also play with the rest of the settings, like contrast. Let's bump it up, actually. Nice. I'm gonna go back to the first one. Yeah, that needs more contrast too. There you go. Now it's pretty vibrant. I'm gonna collapse those groups by clicking on a little arrow. I'm gonna bring energy bar and all of that on top of it, okay? Make sure you don't put it inside the groups. Don't lose them. There you go. All right, pretty good so far, pretty easy, right? We just added filters to all 3 of those. Let's click on right cam, go to filters again, and this time we're gonna add a mask. And we're gonna find image mask blend. I know I have a bunch of filters that you don't have. That's fine. That's because I installed a bunch of plugins, basically. Just a couple, really. Click OK. Now, all you have to do is click browse and go find one of the masks that I'm gonna make available to you. And in this case, we're on the source that's called right cam. So we're gonna find the one that says right. Click OK. And this is what it should look like, okay? Now, before you close this, you want to right click and copy that filter. So we can, just so we can go faster, really, okay? Go to mid cam, click filters, right click. Now this one doesn't have any filters yet. Just click paste, all right? Click browse and switch this one out for mid. Okay, you following? Nice. Left cam, filters, right click, paste, browse, and then left. Nice. Okay. You're staying with me, We're doing this. Right cam, you're gonna click on it, and then you're gonna drag it where? Bingo. To the right. Doesn't matter if it's not pixel perfect, really. Mid cam, you're gonna not touch because it's already in the middle. Left cam, however, we're gonna drag that to the side. Would you look at that? We pretty much already have our effect. If you want to keep them like that, that's fine. But I like to, add a little bit of variation. I'm actually gonna move that left a little bit more to the left. There we go. I used my arrows on my keyboard to make precise movements. For example, the left cam, I would love for it to be flipped. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna flip the source itself. So I'm gonna drop that down, click on the main cam, right click, go to transform, flip horizontal. And there you go. Nice. Now another effect that I like doing is putting a little bit of delay so it's not perfectly in sync like that. So with the group left cam selected, I want to click filters, I want to click plus, and I'm gonna find render delay. And I believe this is integrated into OBS Studio. If it's not, my bad. And I'm gonna put 500 millisecond delay. If it's not, then it's probably StreamFX. StreamFX is the only other plugin that I have installed, right? So now when I move, it's a little bit different, okay? So it's pretty nice. The other effect that I actually use from StreamFX is to scale it in, but we don't have to do that. I'm gonna do it. You don't have to do that. If you want to have that, then you need an additional plugin. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and click plus. I'm gonna find 3D transform. It's the only one that I found where I could actually scale by just using a filter. For the mode, we wanna go perspective. And then when you scroll down, you're gonna see scale. And I put it at 150 for each axis. There you go. Now, as you can see, it actually made everything bigger. All you have to do is pick that mask and make sure it's all the way at the bottom. So you select it here and then you click on the little arrow to move it. There you go. Now let's copy that 3D transform filter and let's add it a little bit to the other one, which is the right cam. Filters, right click, paste, 3D transform. You want the mask to be at the bottom. Let's do that. Nice. So 3D transform, instead of it being 150, maybe we want it to be 120. Nice. Let's also add a render delay and let's put 200 for that one. There you go. Now you have different perspective and it's pretty dynamic, but that's not it. What we're gonna do is add a move transition filter to the scene, and every filter will serve as a keyframe. So we're gonna have 3 filters for that position for each of our groups. And then we're gonna have 3 filters for the other position when they're outside of the frame. It's that simple. With that being said, let's go to our scene, right click, go to filters. From there, we're gonna add our first filter. And this one is gonna be called Move Source, but we want to rename it since we're gonna have 6 of them. We're gonna start by the original positions, so we can call this OG, POS. Let's do it in order, left, nice, click OK. Now pay attention to the only things that you need to change. The left camera, the custom duration, we want this to be about a second to drop in basically, and then scroll down and click Get Transform. Alright, since we did that for the left, let's right click and let's actually click duplicate to go faster. This one will be OG position, mid. Click OK. Make sure you select the mid one, mid cam. It already has 1000 milliseconds. Click Get Position. Right click, duplicate. This one will be right. OK. Select the right camera. Scroll down. Get Transform. So what you just did is record the position of each group. Now let's record the movement, the other position basically. So I'm going to duplicate that right one, duplicate, and we're going to call this one out position right. Okay. Now from there, I'm going to make sure I select the right group, and you can safely move it out of the way. Drag, and I want it to come a little bit from here and drag it down. Now you can get transform. And as you can see, the position just changed. You can actually record the position, the rotation, the scale, and even the crop really. But I'll let you experiment with that. Just to make sure that everything is working correctly, I'm gonna click on OG position right to bring it back to its position. It's working. It's working. All right, so now I'm gonna right click on OG position middle. I'm gonna duplicate that, name it appropriately, and do the same thing basically. Make sure that we select the right one here, and let's move it all the way up. Nice, and then click Get Transform. Pay attention to the position here. It was at 0 because it didn't move at all. And now it's minus 1080, which is the height of your canvas. Anyways, let's right click, duplicate OG position left, rename it to out position left, click OK, and do the same thing for that one. Left cam. This one I also want to be coming from the bottom and a little bit to the left. Like that. Get Transform. Nice. Okay, so if you want to bring them back, boom, boom, boom. Whoops. There you go. So now all we have to do is go to Streamerbot and figure out the timing to trigger all of that. But we have to make a decision right now about something. Since this is its own scene, you can either decide to basically switch from one scene to another when that happens, and that would be the trigger, right? Or you can actually add this anime scene to your normal scene. So let's do plus scene, anime scene. Okay, and in that case with Streamerbot, you would turn the scene on, turn every source on, and then turn every source off, which is what I am personally choosing to do. What I'm gonna do is keep the scene on actually. It's the sources that I'm gonna turn off. For our different cameras, it's cool because, well, I can just move them out of the way. So the anime lines is what I need to turn on and off, and all we have to do is turn on the energy bars first, basically. If you choose to switch to the scene, and that's going to be your transition to that animation, you can use the energy bars, the file, the WebM file, as a stinger transition. But I digress. Let's turn that off and let's turn that off. So again, in my actual full screen scene, I'm going to have anime scene and it's going to be visible. I'll close that filter window because the names are good enough for me to know what they do. Here comes Streamerbot. Again, if you don't have Streamerbot yet, it's not connected to your Twitch and all of that, go watch a tutorial that I will put in the description. I'll probably put a Nutty's video on it because it's really good, so go check it out. And as you can see, I already have a bunch of stuff that I use for my own stream. And fun fact, I actually use kind of the same technique. I have a separate scene called green screen videos, and when people redeem something with channel points, it just turns a source on.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am. And then it turns it off. So we're here in action. We're gonna create a new action. Right click, add, and we'll call this one appropriately anime split screen. Group, we're gonna leave that in whatever group you want it to be, and let's click OK. So for me, the first step is turn on the energy bars. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna add sub action, and I'm gonna go find OBS, and I'm basically gonna find, hey, turn on the source, right? And that's set source visibility state. So which scene you want it from? It's the anime scene. What's the source? It is actually called energy bars. Click OK. Well, actually you can test it before. Love it when everything works. Click OK. So step 1, turn on the energy bars. Step 2 will be trigger those 3 filters that are gonna bring those cameras in. So right click, add sub action, still OBS, and then set scene filter state. Remember, the move transition filter was on a scene, not a source. So set scene filter state. What scene is it? You know what it is. Anime scene, and it's gonna be OG position left. State visible, you can test it. There it is. Nice. All right, since they are so similar, we're gonna duplicate to go faster. Right click, duplicate sub action, double click that bottom one, and just pick the other one. Position mid, visible, test. There we go. I just realized that in my case, I don't need the middle one if I'm not gonna do anything to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some effects to it. Maybe the face tracking actually, because that's something that I have. So right click, duplicate again, double click that bottom one, pick the correct one, and it's OG position right. Test it. There it is. Nice. Okay, you don't have to test it, by the way. I'm just testing it to show you that it works, or to show myself that it works. It is slightly transparent for some reason. I don't know if my mask wasn't purely white, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna look good. Now you might be thinking, oh, you forgot the anime lines. I did not. The reason why I'm gonna add them right now is because I actually want to add a little delay before they come in. They're a little brutal. There's no transitions for them, which is something that we could do really, but let's keep it simple. Right click, add sub action, delay. Okay, so wait for all the things to come in. 1000 milliseconds, everything should be in place. And now I'm gonna duplicate that visibility state for the energy bars because it's the same type of action. Duplicate sub action, it's gonna add it at the bottom, double click on it, pick the anime lines. Nice. So now I have an action that just triggers everything. Now I can wait a little bit and then get everything away. So let's add another delay. And this one is gonna be whatever you want it to be really. For me, it's gonna be 5 because I know that my energy bar thing lasts about 4 seconds total. So we're good. Now we're just gonna duplicate these sub actions. Duplicate sub action, it puts it at the bottom. Double click, and I want this to be hidden. You could put toggle, but I don't trust toggle. This assures that every time this plays, at the end of it, everything is where it's supposed to be hidden, right? Right click, duplicate, double click, and this one is not gonna be hidden actually. This one, we just want it to be on the out position because we don't want to hide those. So that was OG position right. Let's put out position right. Nice. Duplicate, double click, out position mid, click OK, duplicate, double click, out position left. So those states can still be visible. I probably like confused you a little bit. And then for the source visibility state of the energy bars, you can turn that into hidden. Remember when I told you that the move transition is not just position, it's also scale, rotation. So you can make things rotate in and scale out, in and out, you know, just use your imagination. Also tag me on Twitter if you do this. All right, a little anime split screen thing should be good unless I'm forgetting anything. I don't think I am. So let's go to platforms. In my case, it's gonna be Twitch, channel point rewards, because that's what I want to use to trigger it. And let's click add. Before that, we actually want to hide everything and set it to like the ready position. So that channel point reward would be anime split screen. Cost, I actually want this one to be a lot because it's kind of disruptive. Let's say 5,000. User input, not required. You can skip that. Background color, I actually would love to have that be something different. This is all the cooldowns. Global cooldown, you definitely want to have a couple of seconds, at least 20 seconds. I'm not gonna put anything here just so I can just test it. And finally, we're gonna pick which action it's supposed to perform. This is the channel point reward we're creating, by the way. And we want it to perform the anime split screen. Nice, click, okay, congrats. You're gonna have a brand new channel point reward. If I go here, there it is. All right, so what I mentioned is that before we start, I actually wanna go and set everything on the ready position. In that case, it would be anime lines would be off, energy bars would be off, and then the filters for that scene would have all of the out positions. Close that. Go back to our full screen. This is my actual full screen scene. Go to channel point, find it, anime split screen, and redeem. So cool. And then just like that. Just like that. Okay, now with my method, adding it basically as a nested scene, you can still keep whatever you want. For example, I definitely want it to be under my alerts. I have a folder here called widgets where my alert box is, and I want my anime scene to be under that. So if someone redeems the channel point and I have a donation, a raid, a follow, I can still see it. But also it makes it super easy to add to other scenes. All I have to do is right click here, click copy. For example, this is my game scene, display capture off. I can right click and then paste reference. I can put this wherever I want. For example, if I still want my camera to be on top of it, I don't know why you would want that, but just place it under your camera. Anime split screen, redeem. And there you go. It'll be over your game. Okay, so I played around with the middle one a little bit, and this is what we have. Let's redeem the channel point. And I have a face tracker in the middle. Wow. So for the assets, make sure you check out the link in the description. But to be honest, the anime lines is something you can find on YouTube. The masks were made in Photoshop. I created a layout to see how I wanted them to look. And then I just exported them one by one with each part being in the middle so that my face would be visible in each of them. Alright, put a lot of effort into this. Hopefully you enjoy it. I try to keep it as simple as possible. When it comes to sound effect, I'm guessing at some point you're going to be like, I really want some sound effects. That's going to be up to you. It's better for you to craft your own sound effects for this, because if you want it to last longer, if you're actually going to use it for subs or for raids, do your own thing. If you actually create this channel point, I want you to record a portion of it or maybe a clip from your Twitch and tag me on Twitter at @level_photo. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitch. On February 10th, I'm planning to do this big live stream where I'm going to give away money, video games, and more. On top of that, during this stream, the plan is to show you how you can use Adobe Express for your full workflow as a content creator in 2023. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Go out there, make me proud, get level, out.